welcome back. I hope you're having a good day. I've made a playlist for this tree. I have 3 similar ones. It's a Ficus Benjamin of some sort. Could be like a Riani, too little, who knows. I wired up, I'd call it the medium size one or whatever. And then about 2-3 weeks later, I wired up this one. Now the medium sized one I actually have up where I can kind of take a closer look at it more often. And I was just kind of looking at the wire bite, and there was like almost none and almost none. And I was thinking that since I wired this one a few weeks after that one, I wouldn't really need to check on this one until the other one kind of bit in. And then I checked the other one, kind of noticed that this one had some little tiny leaves coming out, starting to get some new growth on it. And so I checked the other one, took the wire off, and it had like some slight bite or whatever. And I kind of came back over here, and I looked at this guy, and up in the apex here, I mean, the wire's almost embedded in the trunk. I'll give you guys a close-up here in a minute when I start working on it. But anyway, lesson learned. I see on some bonsai forums and stuff, they say, once the wire bites in, you might as well throw the tree away or whatever. I'll never do that. I grow attached to all my trees. I don't plan on showing them. I don't plan on selling them. I'm really just kind of having fun. I actually think the tree looks pretty good, but you'll see when I take this wire off the apex here in a minute, it's going to be bit in pretty well. It needs a ton of trimming. I noticed with these little tiny leaves coming out, you can kind of notice the bigger ones just kind of just become a little more obvious in there or whatever, and you can see that they're quite certainly old growth compared to all the new growth coming out. Spring is springing here in Florida. But anyhow, I'm going to try to move in a little bit closer. You guys can see some of what I'm doing a little bit more. All right, try to give you guys a little bit of a better look at what I'm doing here. And as I edit my own videos, I made 2 videos yesterday. One, I didn't do any talking in it at all. The other one, I kind of did a little short intro. And then really didn't talk much throughout the video except for at the very end. New format to me doing my videos, but I actually just decided maybe I could talk a little less. I just try and pause and show you guys that cut in there. Not quite as embedded as I was making it out to be. I actually thought I was going to have to almost wrestle it out of there, but really was. And it was time to come off, but it really was, that was right at the worst spot there where it was cutting in. And everything else was just really average bite at best. But now what I'll do is take this opportunity while the wire's off. I'm not going to put any new wire on it today, but I am going to go ahead. I see a whole lot of unwanted growth in some of the crotches of the branches. A little bit of straight up stuff, and just try to clean it out a bit. It is going through a huge growth spurt right now. Maybe putting new wire on it wouldn't be a horrible idea, as I could try to wrap it the other way. I left that branch on there the last time, this branch right here, in the hopes that it would continue to heal that scar up. I might try to hit that. With that newer Dremel bit I've got here soon. And when I first decided to start the channel, one of the things I had pictured too was I thought perhaps as I was doing my work, I could have the radio playing, but little did I know that anybody's playing music in the background would hit me with a copyright complaint, which happened on my first few videos. And that's also the reason why I decided to do wanted to test a few videos without me saying anything, because sometimes when I'm just working, you can actually hear me breathing. I'm turning into a mouth breather. It's making me very self-conscious. My kids at school have been picking on me about it. And I always considered mouth breathers to be those guys at the gym that look like they could rip a telephone book apart but can't read a word in it. And I don't want to be one of those guys. Alright, try and take out some of these bigger leaves. Alright, and then as I was working it, almost making me want to put some wire back on it today, but I'm not going to. I did decide, since it looks like it's kind of got two apexes up here, I only want one. This one's thicker, so to create the illusion of taper, I'll go ahead and leave the skinnier one. And that should actually push some extra growth up there too. And then with the plans of kind of wiring it back over there to be on top of that. This thing is going through a huge growing spurt. Really should shoot right on up there. I'm going to try to work this wound a little bit. You might be able to see, actually was testing the batteries in my Dremel and almost started working on it, but decided I'd just kind of show. This is just a big chunk off of it. It's actually, I think, this is a cutting that was still attached to the other tree, and this is actually that other tree out there. That's the cutting that I took from that. I've been letting this branch grow right off to the side, hoping that it kind of heals up a little bit. You can see it's healed up there and actually there nicely, just right here in like the bottom third it hasn't. So I'm just going to hit it with this Dremel some, see how it turns out. The last one, the last Dremel bit I got, I don't know those of you that are familiar with Dremels, is this one. Did okay for maybe really light work, but it wasn't really good at actually removing any of the actual gutting of it or whatever. This is the one I just used right now. This is 192 if you're into Dremels. I know most people that do any serious carving have like better power tools. I'm not much on power tools. I think I've talked about it before. I don't like the noise they make and everything else. But that really did a nice job of just kind of hollowing that out some. Yeah, that worked out better, a lot better. I got a lot of wounds now. I'd like to take this new bit out too or whatever, but so I took out the bulk of some of that wood in there, opened up to the live cambrium. I always want to say cambrium, but I guess it's cambium. But anyway, that should continue to roll over some more with the new spring growth going here and everything. All right, and then just one last look at what we got here. When I initially put it in here, I think it's been in here maybe almost 2 years now. It's been in there at least a year. I'd have to really go through and look. But I was intending on, it's just a little bag pot. And I was intending on leaving it in here, getting it just as pot bound as possible, trying to get some crazy area roots and all that. Now I'm thinking, even right now, I can tell this thing is just going to be very, very difficult to get out of this pot. I don't, know exactly what I'm going to do it, but I have been thinking about, it's an oval pot, not round, but I've been thinking about when I do repot it, trying to make that the front. And like I said, I'll have that apex kind of tied over a little bit or whatever. But sometimes, when, a month from now, this thing will have so much crazy growth, I may get all kinds of other new ideas, but, there's what it is for now. I think it's a nice little tree. I'm enjoying it. Thanks for watching.